Hello and welcome to BQ Prime. A very good morning to all the viewers. I am Hiral. An interesting day of trade is what's in store, with the markets actually scaling new highs in Wednesday's session. In fact, if you see Nifty 50 above the 19,000 mark, as well as Sensex crossed the 64,000 levels. In fact, this price action is expected to continue on the back of the increased volumes that we are seeing as well. And that's what the analysts are pointing towards. Let's quickly take a look at the technicals, what's in store. Now, there is a possibility that we will see this rally continue towards levels of around 19,200. But from there on, the speed of this rally could actually take a slight bit of a breather. Now, the next resistance levels that we will be watching out for will be 19,500. Now, for this rally to go up to 19,200, the participation with regards to Bank Nifty becomes absolutely crucial, and that's where the next leg of the rally could be. We will be watching out for close levels as well in terms of Bank Nifty, because 44,000 initially was the clear resistance, but now we've already crossed that. We've seen a closing above those 44,000 levels. So an interesting move expected in terms of Bank Nifty as well. Moving on, if you see in terms of the F&O data, we ended the June F&O series also pretty well. It's the third expiry which has seen a positive move, 3.6% kind of gains that have come in. In fact, VIX, which is interesting, ended down by almost little over 9%, and this is since the last expiry. However, if you see in terms of Bank Nifty, we saw a gain of almost 1.5% in the June expiry. Now, the reason you can clearly understand that the bullish sentiment in the markets is something which is continuing, because 33% of the F&O stocks actually witnessed a long build-up vis-a-vis a 14% that we'd seen in terms of the May series. All sectors except IT have seen positive returns in this series. So that's overall in terms of the June series. If you see in terms of the FIs as well, they've actually increased their long positions by almost 37,000 contracts in the June series, whereas on the client's end, the positions have been a short of around 31,000 contracts. The FIs and the clients have decreased the net long positions by 6.5% and 1.5% in terms of the single stock futures. If you talk from a rollover perspective, the key stocks we are watching out for is SBI Cards, Alchem Laboratories, Aisha Motors, as well as Syngene. So these are the ones which are seeing a heavy rollover as well into the month of July. So there is some bit of traction that could continue. Now, quickly looking at in terms of the July expiry itself, the highest put OI is at around 18,900 and the highest call OI is at around 19,000. And the future open interest is actually indicating a build-up of fresh long positions in Nifty futures for a third consecutive session. The FPIs, as we mentioned, have continued to hold long positions, which are more as compared to the short positions as well. So clearly, overall, yes, the sentiment is looking positive as we speak. Where from here on and what's the key resistance that the markets are going to face is something we need to watch out for. But overall, if you see from the stocks that we've been talking about as well, Canfin Homes, Escorts, you have Bank of Baroda, Bajaj Twins, Syngene, and Bajaj Auto. These are a few of the F&O counters which will be trading ex-dividend in today's session. So watch out for these names pretty closely. But moving from there on, as we know, IT has been one of the underperformers in the June series. You have TCS, which is in focus in today's session, and they had the AGM yesterday. The stock has been in focus for a variety of reasons. Tushar is joining by to get us more details in terms of what emerges out of the AGM and any comments that we've heard. Tushar, good morning.
Good morning, Hiral. So, if you talk about the TCS AGM, what came out or what was the most important thing was that TCS has broken its silence on the alleged subcontractor hiring scam. TCS chairman N. Chandrasekaran said that they received two whistleblower complaints, which was a brand new piece of information for us. Two whistleblower complaints in end of February to early March. They alleged some favoring of employees, that some TCS employees favored certain business associates or staffing firms in hiring of their particular contractual workers. While it's not known what were the favors, but there is a specter of favor. So what essentially now TCS has done, They have fired 6 employees. They have banned 6 employees and they have banned 6 staffing firms, and there is action still pending on 3 more employees.
Right. Thanks, Tushar, for getting us these details. I think it'll be from here to see as to what are the next steps they take and how the markets react to the action that the management has taken so far. But moving on, you've been tracking the telecom sector also pretty closely. We have the April data, which is out. What is the data indicating, number one, and what do brokerages actually have to say?
So the biggest takeaway from the TRI data that came out for April was Reliance is gaining very clearly at the expense of Vodafone Idea. Reliance in April added, if I see the numbers, they added 3.04 million users. Vodafone Idea lost 3 million users. So almost a complete transfer. BSNL is losing 0.71 million users, and Airtel is losing 0.76 million users. So brokerages are saying that Reliance Geos is gaining faster. Airtel is not at the same pace as Reliance Jio, especially in the 5G space. Uh, the the spread of 5G for Reliance Jio is much more uniform as compared to Airtel. That perhaps is to do with the fact that Reliance is on a pure play 5G network and Airtel is on a mixed network from 4G. Uh, since we are seeing so many users moving towards Reliance Jio, this can be indicative of the fact that people are adopting to 5G networks from Vodafone Idea, which is yet to launch its 5G operations.
Right. So overall, as the chart has been mentioning, it's Geo who continues to lead. There could be some bit of pressure in terms of the stock price that we see with Vodafone, where the cuts have widened. So Bharti Airtel and Reliance Industries will be in focus as well on the back of the telecom data. But thank you, Tushar, for getting us the details. But moving on, the auto space has been in focus. In fact, you will see auto sales numbers that will start trickling in over the weekend as well. What's the trend looking like is going to be interesting, because in the previous month itself, we did see the passenger vehicle as well as the two-wheeler space that continued to gain momentum. Now, how the monsoon augurs with regards to the CV space is going to be interesting to watch out for. But the clear trend of premiumization is something which is coming in. But staying with the auto space, you have an ancillary company, which is JK Tyre, has actually announced expansion. Mika joins us with more details. Mika, good morning.
Good morning.
Mika, JK Tyre is looking at an expansion,
Yes.
right? What are the details that you're picking up?
Yeah, so it recently inaugurated its first phase expansion of its Bonmore plant in Madhya Pradesh. It's a very integral plant for the company since 1991, and it serves both domestic and international customers and develops high-tech products such as eco-friendly tires, smart tires, puncture guard tires, etc. This phase one expansion is a part of a two-phase expansion that the company plans to follow through with an investment value of 1,000 crores, which is funded by both debt and internal accrual funds. The expansion aims to increase the output capacity to cater the increasing demands of the passenger car radial tires. The phase one expansion involves an initial investment of 312 crores and will increase the output capacity by 31%, which gets the production output capacity numbers from 39 lakhs to 51 lakhs per annum. And the company is now in their phase two of their expansion, which is funded by an investment of 617 crores and is expected to be completed by April 2024. And this will also increase the capacity by an additional 31%. The 211-acre facility currently employs around 15,000 employees in the region, and this expansion is also expected to employ 7,000 more. Coming from the financial side, the current net debt level, according to the quarter four of financial year 2023, stands at 4,518 crores, which is 8.5% lower than the previous year of financial year 2022.
Right, so that's going to be an interesting move for an auto ancillary company as well. And what it would mean for the other tire companies is going to be interesting. I think we'll come back to you later during the day as well to understand the impact of the capacity expansion on the other tire companies. Thank you, Mika, for getting us those details. So that's with regards to the auto space. But moving on, a lot of other counters that will be in focus, from the secondary market. Let me take you through a few. We have had the mega merger that has been in focus. HDFC as well as HDFC Bank will be merging, and on the back of which you have the board meeting that will be held today. So watch out for both these counters pretty closely and what comes out from the AGM, because clearly in terms of the stocks, as to how the fractional part of it will work, what will be the exact dates, the record date, etc., will be announced. Moving on, you have a TD Power that will be in focus as well. They have an OFS of around 3.77 crore shares, which is 24.175% of the existing outstanding. The floor price is 214 rupees, and it will be offloaded at a floor price of around 214 rupees. So watch out for TD Power in today's session. Simultaneously, a Credit Access Grameen reports are suggesting that the promoter will be selling around 5.8% stake worth 1100 crores, and the base price of the block deal is 1230 per share versus a current market price of 1325. So a significant discount coming in on that one. So what you will see block deals coming in on both these counters. We've spoken about ICICI Bank and ICICI Securities with regards to delisting of ICICI Securities, and now they've said that shareholders of ICICI Securities will get 67 shares of ICICI Bank, which by holding 100 shares. Now, clearly, this is an interesting swap ratio that they've come up with, because the markets were estimating somewhere in that range of 25 to 30 shares of ICICI Bank, but this is a good number coming in there. So let's see how the markets react on this news as well. Moving on, Aurobindo Pharma is another one wherein the US FDA has uncovered fresh faults at their at one of their facilities, which is in eastern India. Now, they've said that they've uncovered deficient manufacturing equipment cleaning and storage controls. And the Anakapalli plant produces APIs for cardiovascular as well as antifungal treatment. So again, Aurobindo will be in focus. And with this, if you see in terms of where Aurobindo is concerned, they have some restructuring that has been taken at their Puerto Rico plant as well. So watch out for Aurobindo pretty closely in trade. Moving on, a lot of other counters that will be in focus. So Rishi is going to join us to give us more flavor on it. Rishi, good morning.
Good morning.
Apart from the names, it's a stock heavy day for all of us. What are you tracking?
So there's MCX, which also extended a contract with 63 Moons Technology for an additional 250 crore rupees after TCS delayed the delivery of its trading software. Now, MCX had a profit of 149 crore rupees for FY23. Investec also came out on a report recently on MCX, where it downgraded the stock to a hold and also reduced the target price to 1715 as compared to the earlier 1780. They have also significantly downgraded the EPS for the current fiscal for the stock to factor in the additional costs. MCX stock is up over 25% in the past 52 weeks, despite the continued uncertainty that has prevailed over the stock. Now, there's Reliance Capital, there's news regarding that. So the lenders of Reliance Capital have voted in favor of a resolution that was submitted by the Hinduja Group firm, that is IndusInd International Holdings, which made the highest cash offer of 9,660 crore rupees, and it was a lone bidder in the second round of auctions. The lenders are also expected to recover 65% of the outstanding loans as this offer comes into place. Now, BPCL has announced a 18,000 crore rights issue. Now, the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman had announced for a 35,000 crore capital that in this year's budget to support PSU oil-making companies that included BPCL, HPCL, and IOCL. So the market is expecting rights issue from IOCL and HPCL as well. Now, Arabica coffee prices have remained weak compared to Robusta prices, which may impact coffee stocks, that is specifically CCL products and Tata Coffee. Also, global sugar prices are trading at near 6-month lows. So the recent stock rally that we saw in sugar stocks like Balrampur Chini, Triveni Engineering, and Renuka Sugar, they may see some correction in today's trading session.
Right. Thanks, Rishi, for getting us the details. And in fact, MCX is going to be the stock of the day as well, because a lot of brokerages who are coming up are clearly indicating that it's going to be FY24 profitability that is expected to be wiped out. A clear impact on its EPS and price performance is what could be seen. However, FY25 could remain intact. Let's see how the markets actually take this news in terms of MCX. And overall, good momentum there. But one sector, Rishi, that you've been tracking pretty closely is the metal space. Last couple of trading sessions, a good rally that has come in there. And clearly the sector has been pretty cyclical, right? What is it that is causing the rally and how are you seeing it going ahead?
So the Nifty Metal, as you said, it has rallied over 2.1% this week. And the top gainers here would be Adani Enterprises gaining 4.63%, JSW Steel gaining 4.62%, and Tata Steel gaining 1.55%. Now, one of the reasons for this rally may be as China's Premier Li Qiang, he was optimistic on China achieving the 5% economic growth rate in 2023. Now, this came in after a 10 basis point rate cut that was announced by China in June, in the early weeks of June. But also the market doesn't believe that this is enough to revive China's economic sector. Now, China is an important factor in play for the metal stocks as a whole because it accounts for more than 50% of the production as well as consumption globally. Now, JSW Steel gained because of JSW Vallabh Tinplate and Vardhaman Industries merging with JSW Steel coated products, and it was effective from Monday this week. Now, if you look at the medium-term outlook, there's the ferrous part, which is steel, and the spreads are expected to improve as coking coal prices have fallen by over a third from the last quarter of FY23. Non-ferrous metals, if you look at that, is primarily aluminium, lead, and zinc. Their inventories are expected to remain balanced or at a slight deficit globally, considering the global supply tightness and also a possible revival in China's consumption this year. So because of this, the prices may rise and the margins may also improve for these stocks. There's also the lower cost of raw materials for the non-ferrous companies, including caustic soda and coal prices that have fallen. This may also improve the margins for these stocks. Metal prices may also improve this year because as the dollar index may also be relatively weak this year, given that the Fed is in the fag end of its rate hike cycle. Also, there's also a lot of capex that is planned by Indian metal companies, including Tata Steel, which has announced for a 5 ton capex plan, and also JSPL that has announced for 6 ton capex plan. Now, there has also been, so when we come to the for today's trading session, there has been some data that has come out regarding China's economic performance. So the industrial profits for China have declined 18% year on year for the period of Jan to May in 2023. And also the manufacturing PMI, it rose to 49 in June, but it was still compared to 48.8 in May, but it was still under 50. So PMI of over 50 indicates expansion in the sector. But its non-manufacturing PMI was at 53.2 in June. So these are some of the data that we may need to look out for in today's trading session with regards to metal stocks.
Absolutely, and there's a clear, direct correlation between China as well as metals. It's very interesting to see how, China impacts the sector in India as well. Thank you, Rishi, for getting us a detailed analysis of what could be in store for the metal space. So watch out for this sector pretty closely in trade. But moving on from the secondary market to the primary markets, we had SEBI, which actually had a press conference a day before yesterday, and a lot of things that have come out specifically with regards to where the IPO goes. Now, SEBI has shortened the IPO listing timelines, and this has been cut to 3 days from existing 6 days. What this would mean is that the new listing time frame will become voluntary for all public issues opening on or after the 1st of September, whereas it will become mandatory for issues which come on after the 1st of December. This move is absolutely in line with the recommendations that were made by the capital market regulator in the May discussion paper. But let's understand who will this benefit. What they've indicated is it's all the stakeholders that who get benefited out of this, because issuers would receive their funds in a shorter period, allottees would receive the securities in a shorter time frame, and the subscribers who've not been allotted shares would receive their money back quickly. From an entire market perspective, what happens is, what SEBI has actually said is that they will help curb the illicit curb trading activities. What this means is that the actual grey market will be killed, and the way, artificially prices are inflated that is something which will come to a halt. So we'll actually see a fair value for the IPOs in the market. So this is going to be an interesting move from a primary market perspective. But moving on, today we have an interesting IPO that is opening as well. You have PKH, which opens in today's session. Saloni is standing by with more details. Saloni, give us more details in terms of PKH. How much are they looking to raise? How are they going to use the funds? And what is PKH all about?
All right. So PKH is about to is all set to launch its IPO today, which is going to be closing on 4th of July. The company is looking to raise a total of 379.4 crores through a mix of fresh issue and offer for sale. Of this total value, rupees 270.2 crores will be raised through a fresh issue. The price band is between 140 to 148 per share and the lot size is 100 shares. The company is looking to list on both the NSE and BSE. So PKH Ventures is in the business of construction and development, hospitality and management services. Under their construction and development vertical, the company has undertaken the construction of the Delhi Police Headquarters project as well as the development of the hydropower project amongst many others. As for their hospitality vertical, PKH Ventures owns and runs 2 hotels under the well-known brand name of Golden Chariot. The proceeds from this IPO are going to be used by the company for the development of the hydropower project, funding the company's long-term working capital requirements, pursuing inorganic growth through acquisitions and other strategic initiatives, and for general corporate purposes.
Right. So this is going to be an interesting IPO as well, because from the hospitality space, also, if you see, it's actually some connected with Golden Chariot that you must be hearing. Apart from that, Ambi Valley, they have some connections there as well. So I think an interesting play from a hospitality perspective, Saloni, and from a construction perspective as well. You would have seen on your screens the kind of peers that it has. So clearly, a lot of buzz coming in the primary market space. Secondary market is also going to be interesting in today's session, taking into consideration the way the markets have scaled new highs. But from here on, there could be some bit of resistance that could be coming in as well. We're just a couple of minutes away from pre-open, so watch out for markets pretty closely, and you'll have lots more to watch out for on BQ Prime. That's a wrap with Trade Talk. Thanks for watching.